Now it does have the blind spot detection system, rear cross and front cross detection system as well. And the indicator is here on the side mirror, right in here. Now at nighttime it also uses the ambient light as indicators, like red lights and stuff, instead of the whatever color you set it at. So the inside of the driver's door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So there's 2 presets for the driver's seat as well. But you have the power window controls here. And you can see you have the child safety locks, independent for each door. And then the power windows are 1 touch up and down. So we can go 1 touch. And it's a laminated glass, 2 panes of glass with acoustic material there in the center. And they go up and down nice and smooth. And the rear windows, see how they have to go all the way down. Nope, not quite. But they are 1 touch up and down. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little joystick there. You can also power fold them as well, and they're heated side mirrors. Now, if you want to raise the power liftgate, you can pull this, but this will not lower it. So only to raise it, and then you have to get out and go back there and lower it with the button back there. Now, the driver's seat, basically just like the passenger, has the thigh extension, it has the massage function, 4-way lumbar adjustments, and all that stuff, and so some of the controls show up on the screen as well. But yeah, these are good seats. I have no problem with comfort or anything. To the left of the steering column is this little storage compartment here, and it's felt lined, and man, does it go way in there. So yeah, you can put sunglasses or whatever you want, possibly a small umbrella. But yeah, pretty cool. You have some more wood grain right here. And then here's the headlight switch. So you can cycle through pressing that. It has an automatic function. And then you can have the all-weather lights, which basically replace the fog lights. You can turn those on or off. I show all this stuff in the night video as well. And there's a tilt and telescoping powered steering column. A lot of these have like a slight delay. So when you press it, it takes a second and then it goes. That's what a lot of the vehicles are, but wish you'd just like immediately do it. This is kind of cool. When you first start the vehicle, these little tweeter speakers in the dash pop out. Pop up there. Kind of cool. Not sure what the reasoning for that. I think it's just kind of like a neat feature. Maybe there's some kind of reasoning to keep dust or something from getting in there. I don't know, but or protect maybe the tweeter is sensitive to something, but anyways, it pops up when you first start the vehicle. The heads-up display is actually pretty good. It has a very clear image, digital speedometer, status of the lane keep assist system, and the adaptive cruise control. It also has the last road sign you passed, like say the speed limit sign. So yeah, it's functional, but also when you have a destination set, it's even more cool because it has the turn-by-turn directions, but when you get close to the intersection, it pulls up the little map and shows you right where you are in relationship to where your destination is, or the turn, or the intersection where you have to go, and it also has like a little status bar showing you until the next place that you're going to arrive. So as you get closer, the little status bar, moves basically and expands, and then that way you're getting closer and closer to where you have to turn. I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way down and all the way back to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And it's pretty far back. I mean, I need to pull it up really a few inches at least. So if you're over 6 feet tall, shouldn't have any problem driving this vehicle. And the legroom here on the sides is good too. So this is kind of open up. I'm able to not, bump my leg here. And this is also kind of soft here on this bottom part. But yeah, it's not a big deal as far as legroom. I've got plenty of room here. And the seat has a lot of motion, so I can go up and down and everything, get it right. And also they have the power steering column. So as far as getting a comfortable sitting position, it's not hard at all. It feels really good. And when I hit the buttons here for the massage, you have the different massage functions here on the seat, and then you have the heated and cooled seat option that can pop up, and then you can adjust these bolsters here, or you can select the thigh extension. So yeah, the seat controls are all here on the screen, most of them. The steering wheel feels really nice. Feels good. It's not like super soft, but it has a good thickness. The stitching, it doesn't stick out too much, and so it's not bothersome. But yeah, it feels really good. It's also a heated steering wheel, and we have some controls here, and it's not overly cluttered. But the only issue that I have with this is that they have to offload the cruise control buttons, which is down here on this little stalk, which is a little retro. It works fine once you get used to it, but you know, taking the controls off of here, you have to put them somewhere, so you have an additional stalk to contend with. Now you have the volume for the radio here, voice recognition. You have a single button for answering and also hanging up. You also have the left and right for changing through the tracks of the radio stations, depending on what you're doing. If you press the in on that little wheel, it'll also mute the radio. Here on the left side, you have this different views for the screen. We'll get to that in a second, but you also have more controls left and right. Make selections there, and I'll show you that in a second. Windshield wiper controls are here. It does have an automatic function as well. It's a rain sensing system. Turn signal, and the lane keep assist system, and the high beam system as well. So you can toggle automatic high beams on or off. You can manually do it, and then you can turn on or off that lane keep assist system there with that button. Okay, so the gauges are basically a screen in the middle, but then it has these separate ones here. So that's the engine coolant temperature, and then here is the fuel gauge here, and then everything else is within this little or big screen. It's actually pretty big, and it's, you can put the navigation map here, and it's actually better than the main screen. So this is more of the classic view. You have different views, and then you can change some of them. You can change on the screen, but you pushing this button, you can simply kind of cycle through different views here like that. But when you're on the screen, it gives you more options. So here's the three main ones: Classic, S Performance, and Dynamic. So here is the Classic, and then we have the S Performance right there. And when you hit the view button, it changes the view like that. And then the Dynamic, press that, and then the view on the steering wheel will change the view like this. So yeah, I kind of like the Classic, like so. It's very intuitive, and everybody, you know, basically can understand this. It still has a digital speedometer. Also, in here is, even if you don't have the navigation map up here, it'll still show you, like if you have a destination set information, like a little map and little instructions here on the screen, as well as a heads-up display, as well as the map, to kind of help you guide yourself to your destination. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, if we use these buttons here, you can see left and right, gives you more information here. You can change the view. Even the navigation map, which gives you the satellite view. And when you hit the view button, it expands it like that. So yeah, that's really cool. Gives the satellite view. Really nice. Scrolling up and down, we'll zoom in and out on the map. You can zoom all the way out, see the ocean and everything. Let's keep going. Maybe we can see the whole Earth. Keep on going. Let's just see how far it goes. I'm curious. Yeah, we can see the whole Earth. All right, so we have like Google Maps basically going on here on the display. Let's see how far we can zoom in. Go right up. Okay, that's as far. Well, okay, so that's as close as it goes there. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So yeah, I really like that navigation view with the satellite imagery and stuff. And you can change the view there. Scrolling to the right again gives you that information, and it goes back here. So yeah, even if I don't have a navigation map, need for the navigation, it's still cool to look at sometimes. And some of these you can scroll up and down and get more information depending on where you're at. Just like the map, when you use the scroll wheel, you're zooming in and out. Well, this just gives you more information like that. So there's this little, this one setting here on the screen where it shows the vehicle in front of you, and it kind of shows your position in the lane as well. So it's kind of handy to have that view, and it shows the the status of the road and the vehicle and all that stuff. So it's all the driving aid systems working together to give you that view. And it looks good. And I don't know how the practical use of that is, but you know, it does have that, you know, kind of visually cool look to it. And it takes into account curves and other, you know, the status of the lines, like say the dotted lines versus solid lines, and the two-way highway or three-lane highway or whatever. And if there's vehicles around you, especially in your blind spot, that kind of stuff. So yeah, this view could be handy. You can make it larger like that. So this screen is, you have to be logged in as a user, because if you sign in as a guest, it's going to lock out everything, and you're not going to have access to everything, and it's going to be a pain. Even some of the settings you won't be able to go into. So you just get blank screens, and you get pop-ups that you can't get past, and it won't tell you, hey, you need to log into a user account in order to access this function. It doesn't even say that. It gives you all these prompts and paragraphs that you have to read while you're driving, but it doesn't actually say, hey, if you want to use these features, you need to log into an account. It doesn't say anything like that. I just had to figure it out, right? But anyways, this is the home screen here, and there's different views, and you can customize the background. There's the different options there. Vehicle settings, different things. The settings are kind of in different places, you know, and you can change the theme, like in the background. And when you change the theme, it also changes the ambient lighting here as well, but you can customize that to exactly the colors you want as well. And then we go to the radio, different radio sources here. So there's the satellite radio. You can change the source like that. And then this one is like a cloud connected services here. So you can have to log in and set that up. And then you have your different phones, and then navigation map is here. And you can zoom in and out by just pinch zooming it, so like your cell phone. And once again, we have the navigation, or the satellite view, which looks pretty cool. You can also pull down from the top and get some more information. Quickly go into your settings here, which a lot of the settings will be right there, but some of them will be behind the user account, basically. Now there's a second screen down here, and some stuff, when you press this, like if I hit this button, it'll pop up here with additional buttons. So if you want the heated steering wheel on, I'll go ahead and turn it off now, but you need to pop it up here and then press it. So it's like you have a couple steps in order to get to the heated steering wheel button. And then you have this button here, which expands information about your radio. Little icons will pop up here. The stop start feature, or the idle stop, you can turn that off here. Downhill descent, parking, it's like a parking assist system. You can activate that right there. You can turn off the heads-up display if you want. You can turn off the screen if you want, especially if you want to clean it. And then the climate controls are here for the driver, the passenger, and then the rear has the driver and passenger side rear as well. So it's like a quad system. Heated seat, heated steering wheel. They're 3-stage, so 1 press, 2 press, 3 press. So it's a high, medium, and low. And it's worth noting on these touchscreens, if you just press it gently, it doesn't work. You have to kind of press it firmly, and it has little haptic feedback letting you know that, you know, it was activated. If you just gently press it, nothing's going to happen, you know. It kind of helps out with, you know, cleaning the screen. If you go easy with it, then you can clean the screen without pressing any buttons. But you know, sometimes if you're just kind of like thinking it's like a cell phone, it doesn't really work that way. You have to kind of deliberately press in on the screen in order for it to activate. So you can press this button right here. It pops up here, and then that's where you can program the garage door opener controls. But yeah, kind of interesting. The temperatures and the fan speed, where you want the air to blow, is all here. And then below that, you have the drive select, different drive modes. So as I press that, it'll pop up. So you have comfort, all road, off-road, individual, dynamic, which is like a sport mode, and automatic. I like comfort because you still have plenty of acceleration, but you just have a nice, comfortable, quiet ride. and adjust the height of the vehicle and the steering feel and the transmission shifts and all that stuff depending on what drive mode you're in. So you can kind of select the one you want. I think most people would be perfect. Comfort would be perfect, but if you're going off-road or if you want some more, you know, performance, you can choose what you want. Traction control off, you can turn off here. Default will be on. Four-way flashes are here. Front and rear defrosters, you can access there. Now that we already saw the start button to start the vehicle, and then this button is for pulling up the camera system, which is fantastic. So there's the camera system, and it's showing a front view and then a top-down view. And so if we put it in gear, let's go ahead and put it in reverse. So that way it'll show the rear view. Now, it has these active guidelines. They're very precise. It also the little camera does actually move, but it kind of tilts your view based on the screen, based on the view there. So as I turn the steering wheel, it'll give you a fairly linear view, but it just kind of moves it in the direction that you're going. It's kind of neat. It's more gimmicky than it is useful, I would say, the top-down view. But yeah, as far as the stitching and the actual view and resolution is okay. It's not great, but it works good. You know, you also have this 3D mode like this, in which you can look around. Gives you like a render of what your vehicle kind of looks like, but you can actually see around the vehicle pretty good. Does a good job of, you know, seeing what's around you. If you want to get your bearings, see what's around you, that kind of thing. And you can turn that off. But yeah, pretty cool. There's the camera settings. And then you have the trailer view, which if you're towing or if you're backing up to a trailer, you can, you know, kind of, you can see how there's that little needle right there giving you the center line. Because remember, the backup camera is slightly offset. So the center line is not in line with the camera. So that's why I don't understand why, that's one of the many reasons why I don't understand why they don't put cameras in the very center. They like have it slightly offset, or they have it off to the side somewhere. If you have it in the very center position and in a high position, you're not like down there next to the tag, it just makes things like this so much better. So they have to have a little needle there to show you where the actual center is, because the camera is not centered. So you have this little parking button right there. It's the same here, so there's a little bit of redundancy as far as the buttons. So when you press that, it's going to step you through the parking process here. And then you press this button to turn on or off the driver assistance. So you can choose the level that you want. So like maximum, individual, or basic. And then you can go through in here with the individual and turn the features on or off depending on what you want. So if you want to quickly change to a different level, you can do that instead of going in the settings and you know, changing it, and then, you know, you have to go back in the settings. You can change it. You can set up the individual the way you want, and then you can change back and forth. Now the volume for the radio is over here, which is fine. I mean, I can reach it and everything. It's a little bit, it's not where you would think it would be, but it's fine. You can also bump it to the right and left to change through the tracks. There's the cup holders, has a 12-volt power supply. It kind of looks like a cigarette lighter, which I guess you could put one in there. And a little place to put the key right there. These little arms are kind of rubberized, so when I put in a styrofoam cup for like coffee, it kind of grips it and grabs it and put dents in it, and I was kind of worried that it was going to damage the cup, but they are very secure. So yeah, it works well, and didn't have any damaged cups. It didn't have coffee spilling everywhere, luckily, but they are fairly secure. So here's the shifter, and it's an electronic shifter, and it has two buttons, one here and one here on the end. So if we press that button there and pull it all the way down, it goes into drive. If we pull it down again, it's going to put it in standard mode, and you'll see what gear you're in right here. So you can see S1, and you can use the paddle shifters to change through the gears as you're driving. All right, if you pull it down again, it goes back in the drive. Now if you pull it up gently, it goes into neutral. Push it up all the way, it goes into reverse. And then of course the backup camera, the parking sensors are all active. And then to put it in park, you just press right there. It'll put it in park, and you can confirm what gear you're in right here. Electronic parking brake is here. You just lift it up. It engages the rear wheels, and to release it, you just hold the brake and push down on it. And I'm glad to see a little light there that turns on and let you know it's activated. Because it won't if you just put it in drive, it's not going to automatically turn it off. So you will have to disengage it in order to drive if you have it on. So this armrest is it's like a little rubbery soft, not super soft, and has this little release right here. But the release has nothing to do with raising it. You can just lift it up. The release is to move it forward and back. So you can forward and then back. So it kind of tilts up and then goes down. So to wherever you want it, you know. So there's a slight adjustment there. But yeah, just lifting it up. It just kind of stays wherever you lift it, so it doesn't slap back down on you. But it goes up to there, and has this relatively small, almost useless compartment here because, I mean, it has a place for to charge your phone wirelessly. It also has USB ports here. I'm gonna get my business cards out of the way. But there's a little tiny pocket there on the side, so not really like business cards. That's about it. But yeah, usually vehicles have like a large compartment there to put stuff. Now this does have a massive glove compartment to make up for it, I guess, but it'd be nice to have something here. Now I like this little quick access spot here though. Now it does have an auto dim rearview mirror. It's actually auto dimming now because I have the shade over the light sensor, which is here on this side, on the back. And the side mirror is also auto dim. You can see that there, both of them. But I wish it had a rear view camera, because a vehicle like this with all these seats and everything and cargo space, it kind of limits your visibility, especially with those headrests in the way. So if it had the option of a rear view camera, I think that would actually be better. Has these little tap lights here. It does have a large sunroof that powers shade as well. We'll look at that in a second. All the interior lights can be turned on with that button. You can have the interior lights turn on with the door by having that on, or you can turn that feature off if you want. You also had roadside assistance, emergency services here as well. Now the visors, it's interesting. It has two visors. So it has this one with a mirror and a light, and the light is on the other visor. But this visor, you can release it and move it here, right? It also slides out. And then this one, you can fold down. So you can have two visors. The only problem with both of these is they don't come down very far. If they were a little bit larger, I think it would help. There's lots of situations in which these just didn't get the necessary coverage, you know. So having two of them is good, but it just doesn't here on the side, and here they don't. Since this is a fairly tall vehicle, I don't know if you can tell. I mean, this camera is making it not really proving my point here, but if this was just a little bit down, it would help out a lot more, because I had some issues, you know, especially in the wintertime. The sun's low in the sky a lot, and having just a little bit better coverage would work better, in my opinion. So yeah, basically the same setup on the passenger side there. So let's look at the sunroof. It's a panoramic sunroof, and it has a shade that covers 100% of the light. And so let's go ahead and move back the shade. So it has two separate buttons, one for the shade, and then one for the sunroof. Now that back portion is fixed, and this front portion moves, which is a large piece of glass here. All right, so that's finally back. So now let's go ahead and press up on this button, and it lifts it up, kind of vents it, pull it back down. So let's go ahead and pull it back, and it'll slide back. Pull it back again, it goes a little bit further back. All right, that's as far back as it goes.